KADO THORNE has a secret object hidden in his secret vault. But who is this KADO THORNE? Why is he on this Fortnite island? And most importantly, why has Fortnite in Chapter 4 Season 4 has introduced to us a time machine? Please leave a like, subscribe, and use code SMJM to help me out. KADO THORNE is a time-traveling collector who loves collecting rare objects from different realities and different time zones. And also, he's a vampire. He is a very evil man. Goes to different reality, uses up all of their resources, and when there's nothing left to loot, he moves on to a different reality. That is exactly what he did at Rumble Ruins. As we all know, when the Fortnite map got destroyed, the 0 Point brought different parts of the map from different realities and put together this Chapter 4 map. 0 Point brought the middle part of the map from this world where they used ancient technology. Dr. Sloan said that people that used to live here were scientists, were studying different realities, had small villages all over the jungles, they were thriving, and one day all of a sudden they were under attack. This vampire creature came out of nowhere and started to attack the villages. And this vampire would only show up during a solar eclipse, because if you don't know, vampires hate sunlight. Their skin will burn and they will eventually die if they're exposed to the sunlight. So every time this vampire showed up during a solar eclipse, it would kill the villages, destroy the temples, and took everything that was valuable. So the people and the scientists decided to move. Before they moved, scientists wanted other people like us to warn us about this evil monster. They carved this on the wall, this person with wings and big ears. You can also see the eclipse telling us that this monster only appears during a solar eclipse. Even Optimus Prime says force that used to protect the Fortnite island has now vanished, and evil monsters and enemies has taken notice. Obviously, this evil vampire monster was a KADO THORNE. The reason why KADO THORNE couldn't attack the Fortnite island was because of the 0 Point. If you remember, before in Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3, our island was protected by this force field. Even the mighty Lost Reality had to corrupt the entire island before they could destroy this force field, and even after that, they failed. You couldn't even use any kind of device to get in and out of this loop. Seven tried to destroy the 0 Point, failed. Midas tried to stop the storm by creating Doomsday device, and he failed. And I'm pretty sure KADO THORNE tried to enter the island using his time machine. I'm pretty sure he failed as well. Now the Chapter 4 map has no force field around it. And even though we got warning from this ancient civilization and Optimus Prime, it was too late. Before we could do anything, KADO THORNE realizes the island is vulnerable, so he attacks yet again. This time he doesn't loot and leave, he decides he wants to stay. Using up island's resources, he builds giant mansions with huge vaults, but because he's greedy, he keeps traveling back in time, collecting rare objects, keeps all his objects in a vault that is heavily guarded. He keeps them all in 3 different locations. I am pretty sure that KADO THORNE picked Reality 0 because of the 0 Point. I'm pretty sure that this evil, greedy collector would love to get his hands on one of the most powerful objects in the history of the universe. So it looks like KADO THORNE can only use the time machine when there is an eclipse, because as you saw in the trailer, during an eclipse, a KADO THORNE using the time machine, we all thought we was going to have an eclipse at all time, but when we jumped into our first game, that wasn't the case. We don't exactly know what caused that solar eclipse. Dr. Sloan says that the solar eclipse does not look natural, meaning that something is causing it. Now, is it the ice moon or maybe the cube cradle? Maybe the Lost Reality is in fact working with KADO THORNE. The reason why I say this is because surely KADO THORNE plan isn't just to steal different objects, because when Fortnite was describing KADO THORNE, Fortnite mentioned KADO THORNE's ultimate plan and that the fate of the island is at stake. I think KADO THORNE's plan is to create eternal solar eclipse that would make him extremely powerful. powerful, and I believe this is going to take place during the Fortnite Mez event, which is going to take place in Season 4. Also, we know that this is going to be the last season of this chapter. Next season is going to be Chapter 5. We know that end of every chapter, the island gets destroyed. We know that whoever is responsible for the destruction of the island is involved in the final season. For example, Harold was involved in Season 4 of Chapter 3, and she destroyed the island. This season, we have KADO THORNE. Does this mean he's going to play a part in the destruction of this island? We know that one person who's going to be involved in this live event and is also trying to use KADO THORNE is Dr. Sloan. Dr. Sloan has hired a bunch of these people that you can see on the screen. These are a group of thieves, and even though they're after valuable golds and diamonds, Dr. Sloan has hired them to steal one thing: the time machine. In this chaos, Dr. Sloan has seen an opportunity. She thinks that using the time machine, she can change the past and restore the island back to how it used to be. And to do this, she's going to have to bring back the Imagine Order. She only has to go back to a certain point in time, maybe the collision event, because if you think about it, that was the point when the Imagine Order lost the battle against the Seven. We all know what happened after that point. The island that was protected by the Imagine Order for thousands of years was destroyed in just few years after it was under control of the Seven. My theory is that maybe she doesn't go back to the collision event, because in Season 3, if you wear the gunner's skin and spoke with Dr. Sloan, she says, "I am done." She's saying that she's done with Imagine Order, because we all know that Dr. Sloan was just following Jenna's order. Even during collision event, the Foundation reveals to us that Sloan has never been in charge. It has always been Jenna. What if Dr. Sloan goes back to Chapter 3, Season 4, time when the Seven got kidnapped by Harold? We know that before that happened, the Foundation just mysteriously vanished. What if Dr. Sloan managed to get her hands on the time machine? She went back in Chapter 3, Season 4 and saved the Foundation. It is confirmed that we are going to get a huge live event at the end of this season. Also in the trailer, we notice that Jonesy is in fact imprisoned by KADO THORNE. I believe the Foundation is on this island and is going to be involved in this final live event that is going to take place at the end of the season. The Optimus Prime says the future of the island you can find in the past. Maybe we'll go back to our old map using KADO THORNE's time machine.